Next time I'll remember to put my microphone on. I probably won't. That's probably a lie. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at here? I guess I should probably make sure Discord knows this is happening. Let's do this again. In case anybody ever thinks I am secretly actually a professional, measures like this will disabuse them in that notion very quickly. Okay. And I guess, where's the thing for this? Let's see. Yeah, okay. What happens if I try to do that? Nope. Oh, maybe. Ish. No, maybe. No, I don't really know what's going on. Oh wait, is it, maybe it's on the wrong thing. What is this? Why is this here? Oh, that's me. That's a good reason. Okay. Why? What is it? What's going on there? Oh, ha! It's on the wrong thing. That's actually genuinely hilarious. Okay, let's do that. No. Yes. Okay, good. Spoiler alert, I guess, kind of. Okay. Cool. So, let's try that again. It would be cool if OBS would give me, oh, there's Aaron. It would be cool if OBS would give me words, you know, like a link to the thing that I'm doing, but that appears to be too much to ask. Let's see. Can I go to my channel and then, yeah, probably. Share. And yeah. Okay. And this. Okay. Yep. Yeah. All right. So, welcome, folks. Okay. I think this is working right. Probably. Except the funny thing is now, of course, this is right in my field of vision. I wonder if I can lower this somehow so it's not quite as obnoxious. It's sort of, yeah, this is obviously not an ideal situation. But yeah, I basically need something much lower. Like my table needs to be much lower, I think, for this to work. Okay, so let me start by actually looking at the script I did in fact write out for this. So I'm, at the very least, I'm at like somewhat amateur level, right? Or talented amateur. Let's hope. Now, I just made a big mistake, and I want to see if I can undo it. Probably. Okay, that's good. Maybe. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, that's fine. How about this one? What I'm doing, by the way, when I am talking to myself, and you can't tell what I'm doing because you have zero feedback, is I am trying to figure out how to OBS, basically. It does look like this is actually working now. Oh, that was some weird stuff it just did. I don't know what was going on there. Javi, hey, what's up, man? Hi, everyone, late night. Yes, I'm not drinking coffee. I am, by the way, is my audio good? I think it is. So just let me know. But I'm not drinking coffee. Instead, it is 10:45 at night, Central Time, which means I'm enjoying a beverage of the adult variety. So in this way, I am emulating your friend and mine, Jeff of Craft Computing. Nighttime, there will probably be beers involved for this stream. Daytime, there will probably be coffee. And thank you, Aaron and Javier, for validating my psychosis over here. So this is a Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA, which is truly a magnificent example of the, I think this is a triple, I mean, it says Imperial, but like, this is a triple, I'm pretty sure. Because it's got really good like maltiness in addition to the hops. It's also 15.5%. So that's what you do when you are attempting to beat OBS severely about the head and shoulders for like 4 hours. So anyway, so this is fantastic. Amazing beverage. Recommend anybody. You do it when you're at home and you don't have to drive, Aaron. But yeah. So hello. You can see over here. That's not how video works. Jay, try again. Here, yes, is this is my attempt to make a Chiron. I think this is going to work. Probably. Let me see what happens if I try to switch it. Good, excellent. My plan is working. Fantastic. So this is going to be how I, like track topics and so on, is having my little thing at the bottom. So that when I go on a tangent, it becomes clear exactly what it is I'm talking about or was trying to talk about when I went on the tangent. So I'm just greeting everybody here. I've done videos before talking about some stuff that I've worked on, and the idea is to now double down on that a little bit more. I think we're all feeling the absence of Roderick Wortham from Rants About Tech, and while I cannot fill his shoes, I can at least make a new pair of boots or something. I don't know. So he's around, of course, but is still is to my understanding, very busy with his burgeoning nib business for ink pens, and I hope that continues to evolve as successfully as it had before, because we definitely need better options for that in this market. So, so who the hell am I? Why don't we go to the next topic? There we go. All right. Okay, I have no fancy transitions like Rod had, but I do at least have my chirons, so that's good. So I'm Jay. I am a high-performance computing guy by trade and interest and, general nerdiness in the scientific computing space. So I do a lot of work around cancer research, and the group that I work with at my day job is basically responsible for maintaining and installing and setting up the supercomputing systems for the research side of the cancer center, which is a really cool job that I love a whole lot, and I feel very privileged to be able to do. So that's something I'm very grateful for. However, that's not going to be the main topic of this channel at all. Instead, it's going to be about how I am an e-ink and notes enthusiast. And that's going to get on my nerves. Okay. Is that better? Not really. Okay, we'll see. So that's sort of how I came to YouTube in general was like needing to promote information about these things that I was that I wanted to work on and etc. So so that's what I'm primarily going to be talking about. But what's interesting is that AI is kind of where these things meet. So AI actually has a lot of use in scientific applications. It also has a fair amount of use in note taking and things related to personal knowledge management. So I'm probably going to be talking about that as well. There's going to be some amount of discussion about all these topics. So this is sort of the first-ish. Maybe I'll renumber this from 0.2 to 1 because this is probably what I want this to look like now. Now that I fixed my streaming issue, I think. I need to knock on wood after saying that because something will go wrong. So yeah. So yeah, here we are. Those are the three main topics here are going to be things related to scientific computing, things related to e-ink and notes, and then AI applications thereof. Anyway, that's why I'm on here. That's why I decided to start doing lives, is because I was like, there's lots of stuff to discuss. So let's talk about it. So what specifically we're talking about? We'll get into e-ink news, we'll get into note-taking news, we'll get into some AI stuff. A lot of it's going to probably focus on locally hosted AI, so the kind of stuff that you can run on your computer at home, depending on what kind of computer we're talking about. So new Macs are generally very good at this. Anything that has its own discrete graphics card is pretty good at this. Anything that's got enough RAM that's accessible to the display controller, to the GPU, is going to be generally kind of good at this. I use locally hosted AI to do the text transcription for my UltraBridge application that I've talked about on this channel before. And that works really, really well. And I actually just purchased a second GPU for use with a more advanced AI model that can do a lot more stuff. And I'll talk about that in probably a future live or a future video. But I'm pretty excited about it. I'm also going to do some device reviews and overviews, and that could include both like tablet type stuff and other things like accessories, stuff like that. We'll talk about some software dev stuff. I have found that I am way, way more effective. Let me go to live chat here. I think that's working. Yes. I found that way more effective developing software with AI than I ever was without it. And so I've managed to build all kinds of stuff that's been, some kind of shade of useful over the last year or so. And it's only getting better and it's only getting easier, which is awesome. So yeah. And then whatever else we feel like talking about. When college football season starts, God help those of you who do not appreciate talk of the University of Notre Dame, because boy, oh boy, is there going to be a fair amount of crashing out and or jubilation about the results that happen every Saturday weekend, or every Saturday afternoon / night, whatever, starting in September. So yeah, what is our schedule going to be? My note for this specifically is, man, IDK, leave me alone, because I have no idea. I happen to have some time tonight on a Sunday to do this and to again, beat OBS severely about the head and shoulders until it works. So there's that. So yeah, I did actually have a few things to discuss tonight. Before I let me bring that back. Before I jump directly into topics, I'm going to take a real quick look at Discord just to make sure I'm not missing anything or whatever. It does not look that way. Cool. Good. This means that this is going to be fairly low pressure, which is nice. I think, yeah. So, first thing that I wanted to bring up, because this came up a while ago, a few weeks ago, and I felt like it was worth talking about, just because it was an example of something that I hate. I'm going to try to not hate on things on this channel, but it's how we're getting started. Sorry. Yeah. So first thing, XTE Inc. So you guys probably know about these guys. They're some of you do. They make very, very, very tiny e-readers, 4 inches and 3 inches right now, and they're based on something called an ESP32, which is like a really tiny little microcontroller. It's like you can't really call it a computer. You can call basically every cell phone a computer, but you can't really call these things a computer. Well, kind of. There's a lot of technicalities here, but like there's not much you can do with an ESP32 from like what you would think of as like a standard multitasking workstation perspective, right? You could take an iPhone, an OG iPhone from 2007, and put, also that was almost 20 years ago. I think I feel my bones crumbling into dust, but yeah. So you could take one of those, log into it in, underneath the layers of software in the operating system sense, and treat that kind of like a computer in a lot of different ways. You could do that with a lot of cell phones. The ESP32 microcontroller is definitely like several steps below that. Like it's supposed to be incredibly inexpensive. It's supposed to just do one thing for the most part. And so it's actually pretty well suited to an e-reader. So that's cool, right? That they took that and they built an e-reader out of it. But there was this big blow up on Reddit. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, about how XTE Inc. was going to lock all of their readers down and make it so that you could no longer replace the firmware. This is bad for at least 2 reasons. Number one, the default XTE Inc. firmware is horrendous. It is crapola. I don't know. I can't think of any other bad names for things, but it's no good. And so what people did, because this is an ESP32, microcontroller, there's a lot of software out for these things. People know how to develop software for ESP32s. And so they started replacing the firmware. They started building new, versions. The most popular one is probably called Crosspoint. Those projects got a lot of, interest and like public attention and so on. And they did really, really well with it. The community has been, really doing awesome things with Crosspoint, and it's been selling a lot of XTE Inc. devices because people are just really, invested in this. It didn't require XTE Inc. to do anything. All they had to do was sell the hardware, right? Like easiest thing in the world if you are a product manager. You don't have to do anything crazy to make this thing sell. All you have to do is build reasonably competent hardware. So this was happening, and everybody was really happy about it for a while. And then what actually happened is people started buying units off of AliExpress because it was significantly less expensive than buying them off of Amazon or buying them from XTE Inc. directly, like in their whatever, like international store, because they were getting charged Chinese prices instead of international prices. And so they started doing that, and XTE Inc. decided they didn't like that. And what they actually did was lock down the Chinese version of the devices. They didn't lock down the international sold ones. So the ones that you get on AliExpress are the ones that got locked down, and the international ones did not. Okay, so this is what's called artificial product segmentation. It's when you create versions of a thing for no technical reason, for no like, I'm doing this because it's good for it's good for us to have version 5 and version 4 of a product, right? For some reason. No, they're just doing it to segment the market. They're just doing it so that they can do different things with the Chinese market than they can with the worldwide market. So this is widely regarded as a jerk move by itself, right? Any kind of nonsense involving like, well, if you buy it from here, you pay one price, we let you do one set of things. But if you buy it from here for no other reason than we said, you can only do some certain subset of things. That makes a lot of people mad, and including me. I was not an XTE customer. I will never be an XTE customer. They don't make stuff that I would be interested in, at least not yet. But like I was just like, oh, this is dumb and bad. Why do this, right? Sell the thing for the amount of money that you need to charge, and then stop. Right? What was the point of the rest of this? It's literally just rent seeking. That's all it is. So yeah, this blew up and blew up and blew up. And then the interesting thing was that like XTE seemed to have shooters on social media. Very weird behavior. Like people defending them when like no one asked, right? Like people being like, oh, like none of you know what you're talking about. This isn't real, blah, blah, blah. And just posting about a bunch of stuff about how like, oh, they knew better. They clearly didn't. They were just making it up. But it was a very weird thing. And like, it was minimally, it was extremely poor communication on the part of XTE Inc. And this makes me, normally I wouldn't have even been interested in the first place because like I said, I'm not interested in like plain vanilla e-readers that don't even have a touchscreen and are just, screens basically that you like flip through pages on. I've never been interested in those. But now they've been talking about building, an Android device. They've been talking about building something that they call the S4, which is going to be, their first Android e-reader, so it can support things like Moonreader or Amazon or whatever, right? Which theoretically interesting, except, the thing is going to have like 2 gigs of RAM and I think like a quad core processor with Android 10 maybe or something like that. I don't know why people would find this interesting, but that's because I do a lot of work with Android. So I shrug. But it was like, okay, maybe they can kind of start from the ground up and build Android e-ink devices that are not cut from the same mold as everybody else, right? And maybe that's going to be interesting by itself. But with this kind of behavior, I don't think so. I'm sure they're going to survive this. I'm sure they're going to be just fine. But I don't know. It's just a big black mark for me. I'm not a fan. Okay. So the next thing, Remarkable. So I have maybe like a little bit of a reputation among my friends as a, what's the word? Hater of Remarkable. And it's probably deserved. I have been very unimpressed with them for years. And I was a Remarkable early adopter to the point that if I want to, I can use my Remarkable Connect subscription for free forever because I was that early of a buyer, right, of the Remarkable 2. After basically what happened is they got to a certain version of the software. I don't remember which one it was. After which you could no longer do anything with like third-party software with them. Basically, they made a change to the way that the graphics subsystem on the Remarkable worked. And after they did that, it broke basically every piece of third-party software on the Remarkable. And the community that had been doing it, instead of really like pursuing, okay, how can we get around this? How can we continue to work? And it just all fell apart. I think all of the volunteers just stopped working on it. Everybody stopped working on it. And you couldn't be on a modern version of the software and also be able to use third-party software, which made me thoroughly uninterested. And I was just like, I don't know why anybody thinks this is interesting in the context of competitors like Supernote or Books or hell, even BigMe. Well, we'll get into BigMe later. Maybe not BigMe, but you get the idea. There were a lot of other interesting things that I found out about at the same time, as I was just like, I'm fed up with this Remarkable business. Like, nobody seems to be able to get past this graphics frame buffer change. Like, why is this such a big deal? And to be fair, this is before I had started diving back into software. There was no real AI software development yet. And so like, I did not have the patience, to be fair, right? Like other people did. Other people worked on devices and worked on device drivers and like low-level stuff. And they had the skills to do something about this that I didn't. So respect, right? But those people all decided to just abandon the platform. And so I was just like, all right, I'm out. No mas. So, yeah. And then what happened? So, Remarkable, this wasn't even about Remarkable. It started with some other third-party developers, especially one guy who goes by Ace Ivory. I think that's how he pronounces it. I don't actually know. He started to figure out, oh, wait a second, you can do things on kind of like a higher level with Remarkable that that basically get you around the broken device driver, the broken other things that were causing the issues with third-party software before. So that started a bunch of people getting interested again. Now, that's the backdrop, right? About a month ago, I think it was, Remarkable fired almost half of the company and also the CEO. Probably not the healthiest organization in the world. I think it's safe to say that they didn't need 500 employees to start with. It's not clear what all those people were doing. I am the last person who likes to hear about anybody losing their job, but it was kind of like, what actually was going on here, right? Because there was basically no development in their software. They were moving forward incredibly slowly, just an absolute glacial pace of software development. And then the third-party development community started to pick up and not only implement a bunch of things that people have been asking for years, but also discover that like there were just dumb, stupid bugs in the Remarkable firmware that had been sitting there for years and not getting addressed, and were like easily patched out. Like the third-party community was like, we can like do like 2 things, and it fixes this obnoxious problem with like the page numbers don't work or whatever the other thing is, and we would just go through multiple software updates without like the dumbest things getting patched out. And it was just, what's happening here, right? Like, how have they completely lost the plot? And it does seem like maybe a big part of it was the CEO's very poor leadership. This guy like did not really have an idea of what made them popular in the first place. I think he kept trying to lead them into the enterprise, into, business connections that never really worked all that well to start with, and that like corporate IT divisions would not want to support at all anyway. So it was just a series of just bad business decisions and bad software engineering and just a whole bunch of other things. And so they went kaboom, like it says there. And, part of me was like, well, this sort of vindicates my, impression of them as, and the platform in general as just being bad, right? But the other thing that was simultaneously happening is you were seeing more and more cooler and cooler stuff coming out of the third-party community. So somebody that I know from a Discord that is, well, from Roger Wortham's Discord, Rants About Tech, Mitchell Scott, who is a development rock star, he sort of has fixed a lot of the things that were broken and has also developed a lot of really cool stuff. And other people also have followed in his footsteps and developed a lot of really cool stuff for Remarkable. And there's probably not a chance of the same kind of like third-party app meltdown happening that happened before. So now I regret to inform everyone, I'm interested again, right? Like, because there's a lot of cool stuff going on. So, yeah, the third-party community is rapidly catching up to other platforms in terms of what kind of capabilities are available, what can you do with, handwriting recognition data, all kinds of other stuff. And so I'm like, all right, I can't really resist getting back into this anymore, which is why now we're going to see if this works. Everybody cross your fingers. Hooray! Okay, nice. My scenes function. So I guess I can change my topic. Yeah, topic number 2, Remarkable. Who even am I anymore? I don't know. I was a Remarkable hater, and now I'm some other kind of creature. I don't know. Anyway, so I got to move. The Pure was rumored to be coming out, and I was very excited about that. And then we found out it was going to be like 2 months before they shipped, or whatever it is. And so I was like, all right, bye. Thank you, Javi. So I got this refurbished. Actually, Mitchell actually hooked me up with that as well. He was like, you should just go look for the refurbished deals. And I did. And I got this for like $325 or something like that. So yeah, not bad. Oh, that's an interesting question, Aaron. I'm going to dive into that later. Ooh, man. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot there. Okay. But I want to show you guys what's been going on with this so far. Oh, I don't want to spoil the stuff. So, okay. So 2 things you'll notice right off the bat. Number 1, I'm not using, and I'm going to stand behind this, by the way. This is going to be the way in which I stay a Remarkable hater. Number 1, well, actually, okay, first of all, because I'm a sucker for just cutesy stuff, this is my move case. Yeah, I'm one of those guys now. And then you do that, and it opens, and yeah. But second of all, I do not even know where my official Remarkable marker is, because I very quickly reached the conclusion that it, I think the technical term is sucked ass. I have absolutely no use for the Remarkable marker at all. I think it's bad. I think it should feel bad. I think it embarrasses its family and should go be, I don't know, contemplate its mistakes on a tropical island somewhere. So instead, I have this. So this is the Books Inksense Plus pen, which happens to fit in this stylus silo exactly perfectly, which is awesome. And I really like the Inksense Plus on this tablet. I think it works great. I can already see I'm going to have focus problems. I wonder if I can lock focus on this app. Let me see. See, this is what happens, is like, no, jerk. Okay, let's do this now. Thank you. Aha. Oh, there we go. Manual. And it does that. Oh, wait, but can I do this now? Yeah. Okay, good. I guess that's fine, right? Yeah, that's good. All right. Yeah. So I really like this for two reasons. Number one, I don't have to turn it around to do erasing. And number two, because I have a button, which, hell yeah, buttons. And then it writes great. Whatever. Like I'm on the to-do thing still. Well, I guess I can just change that, can I? Page overview. That's totally not what I wanted. Oh, wait, yes, it is. Large grid. No, that's wrong. See, this is what happens when someone. I mean, I don't know. Do we rehearse things? I don't rehearse things. Right. Where's my template setting? Oh, layers. That's right. I forgot about that. There we go. Let's go to. Come on. Yeah, line medium. Much better. Okay. I really like the way this writes. It's just very good. I'm a big fan. In fact, it feels very similar to the 10.3 Gen 2. So it's funny because I really like the combination of the Books pen and the Remarkable tablet. Very funny to me, anyway. So there are a few things that I'm excited about doing with this. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a preview of like what I'm working on right now. So one of my things that I'm always very excited about with respect to e-ink is the integration of like to-do, calendar, etc. type things with e-ink devices, right? So I can go in here now, I can go to Upload, I can go to Retaskable, which is my thing. Okay, so this looks not at all impressive right now, right? But what this lets you do is once you configure, your CalDAV server, you can use this as, hey Sharon, how's it going? Nice to have you here. You can use this. You can use this application to talk to to-dos on a CalDAV server, a WebDAV server like Nextcloud, or there's a bunch of other ones. Eventually, I hope to support Google Tasks and maybe even Google Calendar for like events and stuff like that. But I've been in the process of building out the infrastructure for doing, task stuff on this. So that's what all these buttons are, basically. Like I do sync, and there we go, and I can do show task, and there's a whole list of tasks here, right? And that's fine. This is not doing any filtering by like what's completed and what's not yet, so whatever. But point is that this can do all of the like operations that you would do with a task list: create, update, delete, whatever, and be able to interact with systems that build those task lists. And the thing I actually want to do is do exactly the same thing that you get on Supernote and the thing that you get on Weewoods, and eventually Books, because they're working on this as well, where you can just like circle text, right? You can do select text, and one of your options is create a task out of this. That's really what I want. So hopefully we'll get there. But developing this has been going pretty quick, so I'm hoping I can do that pretty fast. There's a little bit of prior art for this application. Like there's another person who developed something that's kind of like that, but it doesn't really apply because it was originally for a Remarkable 2 with like the old way of developing apps, so it doesn't really work that well. But okay, so Upload is great, by the way. I have told Asafi this before. This is fantastic software for developing applications, and I'm very glad he developed it. Okay, so I think we can go back to the other scene. Yes, fantastic. Okay, yeah, my next thing was, the InkSense nib is very good on both tablets. I would 100% agree with that, Aaron. So let's see. There was something else. Oh yeah, this. Okay, so back to what Aaron was talking about. So right, Supernote plugins. So this was a very exciting development from Supernote, where now they have this plugin SDK so that you can software development kit, so that you can write applications for Supernote that directly work with their their Ink API. Like you can have stuff in notes and whatever that that you can control what happens with them. Any number of things. People have developed AI integrations. People have developed like additional calendar integrations, all kinds of other things. I think it's really cool. This is an awesome move from Rada, and I think they should be emphatically celebrated for it. The same goes for their private cloud software, which I also use, and this was technically another subtopic, but whatever. In general, they have been the most open, like, one of these ink vendors that has done anything really to, like provide you with access into the device, right? And to provide developers with resources to create new, cool, interesting functionality. The private cloud angle is especially interesting to me. I'm basically in the process of like re-implementing private cloud because I'm probably going to make it part of my UltraBridge software that sort of aggregates data from multiple vendors of ink tablets into one integrated system. I'm probably going to do the same thing with the Remarkable RM Fake Cloud system, integrate that into UltraBridge. Because I think the idea is really like interoperability above all, right? Like I don't think that these things should be walled gardens from each other. And if I can do something to make them not that, that's what I'm going to do. So yeah. So Aaron, you've been talking about issues with the plugin system for a while. I haven't really dived into it yet, is the thing. I did a lot of diving into the private cloud, but not really the plugin system yet. And so that's going to come at some point. Probably after I finish doing this with Remarkable, I will probably go back into the Supernote development and try to figure out what's going on with plugins and a bunch of other things. I think I can probably make plugins easier or like lower friction to use. We'll see. Fingers crossed. So yeah, very excited about private cloud. Very excited about plugins. My last topic is this. Let me see if I can find this on Reddit. I think I can. What is that? Oh, okay. Let's see. Again, captivating television while I like stare at the screen and nobody can see what I'm doing because, yeah. Okay, no. That's not what I'm looking for. Let's see. Okay, hopefully we're getting there soon. Yeah. Okay. So, is there anything I need to worry about here? Probably not. Okay. Let's try this version. There we go. Oh, and now you can't see the words. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. But you know what? That's okay. It could be worse. So yeah, Decent Tough 4273 on Reddit is he's a Big Me employee. He's I think he might be their like social media manager, kind of like Sylvia for books or Mulan for Supernote. And he just posts this, right? If you have any thoughts or suggestions for Big Me, feel free to share them in the comments. Thank you. Okay. So I was like, all right, have both barrels. Is the reason on recent devices have been USI that Ink is simply no longer interested in producing commodity screens with EMR? I suspect the answer to this is yes, and I further suspect he can't answer this question without breaking an NDA with e-ink. I would guarantee actually that that's the case. Number two, if so, can you try and get everything to the same quality that Onyx has with the 10.32 and Remarkable has with their other post-Remarkable 2 products? I actually think, by the way, that Onyx's handwriting support, Onyx's accuracy with USI, with the Go 10.3 Gen 2, is better than Remarkable's USI implementation. There are a couple of different ways you can see this, but I at some point maybe I'll do like I can kind of do it with this setup because I've got them right next to each other. But Onyx has really impressed me with their USI implementation, and Bigme's cloned everything else that they've done. They might as well clone that, right? And then I just said, like, if not, look, just try to put EMR back into your devices because, like, we are all extremely mad always about how bad pen input is on these things. And, like, there are a bunch of opportunities that they could choose to take to be better in the Western market by a lot, right? So, I mean, the first thing I said was, do what Rada did and double down on open technology and just add support for things that, free your data from inside a Bigme device, right? So whether that's WebDev file support or WebDev file sync or whatever, any number of other things like that, there's opportunity there, right? Nobody else does that. Rada does it, but like Supernote, the Supernote private cloud is just for Supernote, right? And number one, and number two, the Supernote is not a multi-purpose, explicitly device. Just like Remarkable, it is zoomed in on one or a handful of particular applications, particular like ways of doing things, and like that's like on purpose, right? So now the dog has decided to come in here and join me. Hang on, un momento. Hi, what you doing? Okay, I guess we'll just have you sit here. Can you be good? I think you're going to be good. Okay. Never mind. Right. So they could double down on open technology, and they could probably do a lot with that. And then I was just like, you have to fix your software and you have to fix your pen input. And then the other thing was, I was like, Bigme is a horrendous name. Kit is 100% right about that. What were you thinking? They have thus far seemed impervious to feedback, but they asked for it, so I gave it to them. We'll see what happens. Not being stingy with their hardware, best in the market. That's right. Software is horrendous, though. But you're right. Their hardware has been very impressive. The B7 Pro is way faster than it has any right to be, for example, right? Like, that has a, like in the larger Android scheme of things, mid-range processor, which is really fast for an e-ink device. In a 7-inch device, right? With like actually reasonable good quality handwriting. Okay, so run with that. Do something, and instead they produce the B10, which like can't write to save its life. I don't know. It's just it's very confusing. I don't understand what their strategy is at all. It makes no sense to me. But anyway, so I think that's basically it for tonight. That's only been 50 minutes. I really thought I was going to end up pulling a rod and going much longer, but I guess not this time. That's which is good. That's fine. I had a peak of 5 viewers. I will take it. The only other thing I was going to say, I guess, would be, I am working on being able to do cooler stuff with Supernote soon. Ed has been poking me about that every few weeks, and It's appreciated, and I will endeavor to. Oh, actually, before I forget, so so the books one, right? Well, I'm gesturing as though you can see down where you cannot. So hold on. This one, okay. So this is no longer SuperNet Private Cloud. What is this now? I guess I can go back to high, sure. So this one, there we go, is one of my favorites in terms of USI pens. This one is actually rapidly becoming my favorite, period. So this actually this is from a company called Maxi. You can get this on Amazon for like 30 bucks or something like that. I really like this pen. I like the way it writes. I like the way it feels. It's got like a really good weight to it. It's basically all metal. You know, like if I go here and do this, okay. I just really like the screen feel. Everything about this pen, I'm a big fan. So if you're looking for a USI pen that's a little different from the competition, and you want something that will work well on multiple platforms, like for example, also works great on Remarkable, right? The dog is burying herself underneath the couch. Sure, whatever. I'm a big fan of this. So, you know, just in general, like both of these write really well. Aaron, I think this is the one I told you to get. But yeah, I really like this one. Who's going to take over the morning show until Rod comes back? Anybody? Yeah, I know. I typically can't do mornings because I tend to have meetings around like 8 or 9, unfortunately. I don't know whose idea that was, but yeah. So I can't do mornings. I can do afternoons, and it always seemed like Rod got more views in the afternoon anyway. So I don't know. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. I'm going to go enjoy dessert. Probably is what I'm going to do. So I think that's it for now. For real, for real. Everybody have a great rest of your week if I don't see you. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. And now I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get this thing to stop. That'll be fun. Okay, I found the button.